September 2nd, 23. Yesterday, and then Thursday, August 31st. Oh my gosh. I was up in Akron working at my clients, and some of the old drug dealers from Ravenna drove by. What happened to the drug dealers from the 80s? I think they quit being drug dealers in the 90s. They just grew older. 2000 grew older a little longer. 2010, going into 2018. Look up for the retirement quick schemes. Pull back the facade of who these people are. They're old drug traders. Old drug dealers. That's who they are. Okay? They're kids. There are other associates that's drug dealing and human trafficking. Okay? They drive by, they look at me and my client. Can't believe she's just sitting there. He's like, what else is she gonna do at this point? Some of the neighbors on the September 1st of 18 were complaining those old drug dealers from Ravenna were down here watching. Okay? Again today, they were talking about Bill from the Freemasons from Ravenna. He looks just like retired Judge Pete and Alex's the white-haired guy with his hair parted on side. Dixie seen him, John seen him, Darlene seen him. He was stalking me. He looks just like Pete. And Bill from the Freemasons has the same look, the white hair, thin belt, drives a big blue truck. Okay? He also goes by William Bill. Okay? Where the first month of the case, he showed up. He told men he was too shy to meet me. He's 5 feet away from me. Oh, just go up and say hi to her. People are breaking and stabbing me with needles, lying they have sodium pentothal report. You're stalking me. You're part of it. I won't look at him, okay? And he won't come over and talk to me, so you're part of it. He's like, I want all the guys to watch it. Well, they start harassing me that they're part of the ones breaking in and hurting me. Okay? I'm just waking up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, dizzy, almost passing out, and a severe personal infection. They're human trafficking me under drugs. Okay? He follows me from Ravenna to Canton. He follows me down to Minerva McDonald's. The Freemasons confront him in there. You have $800,000 and you won't go up and meet her, and you have paying all these people to follow around Bill. Okay? She won't even look at you. He's stalking me. And the people he's hiring are breaking, they're the ones putting marks on me. Okay? It got really weird. In May to July of 19, his mother showed up. Now, I've never talked to Bill. Or Will, or whatever he wants to call himself. Never talked to him. He's just stalked me. I only know his name because they talked to him around me. Okay? His mother shows up. I only know because she sat down and talked to me. My son, Bill, he's getting married. I'm like, oh. Start showing me pictures of him with his future wife. Their bridal shower, their house. It's weird. I've never talked to him. Now his mother's stalking me. Then his wife and her girlfriend show up and are stalking me too. They're part of the drug traders, human trafficking people, running scams of breaking in people's homes, drugging them up, photoshopping them, and raping them in their home and leaving the victim covered with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out in a severe personal infection, and the victim, because they're amnesia drugs, don't know what happened to them. Since when is it funny that men rape women? Since when is it funny that men stalk women? Since when is it funny that women are human trafficked or children? Since when is it funny that people sell videos of somebody without their permission naked showering going with their the bathroom or making love to their spouse without their permission and sex traffic videos of them on porn sites. Since when is it funny that weird men take pictures of little kids going potty and sell them on porn sites to weirdos to look at them going potty? What should have happened to everybody that said they were in my house before by federal law? The Fourth Amendment of the house, nobody can be in your home but protect like cases with statements are thrown out. See what happens if an officer arrests you. They book you waiting for you to go in front of a judge. You show up in front of the judge and you look at them and you tell them you've never even had Miranda rights and they can't prove they gave it to you. You're released. Everything's thrown out. Because you have a right to remain quiet. You have a right to an attorney to represent you. It's the Constitution. You also have a right to privacy in your own home. You have the right to be safe and secure within your own person, your own surroundings, basically. Your papers, your effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. The set shall not be violated. So can a drug cartel break in your home and stalk you? No. Can they break in and review you with amnesia drugs, tell you to say something stupid so you're sleepwalking? No. Can they be arrogant enough to say they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room? No. And then saw videos of you, let alone they were drug beaten, raping you, and just leaving you infected, bruised, heart racing, and almost passing out in a severe swollen personal infection, and you don't know what happened to you because they used date rape drugs on you. Why weren't they arrested? On RICO charges at the very least. Exactly. Exactly. That's why they made fun of the FBI for falling for it. June 7th, 23, Walmart 62, the cult made fun of the FBI. FBI agent John fell for the stunt of the tapes before. Oh, come on now. That agent actually fell for it? It was only a stunt. You're kidding. Is that what's going on? FBI agent John fell for the stunt of the tapes before. Ha 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 ha. Sitting there screaming his name out, mocking. So videos of him, how they fooled him. Eric, one of the drug dealers, November 18, 22, Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon. Confessed all the tapes before were him and not me. I was done for a stunt for everyone to turn on me and they fell for it. They sold that too. And then July 9th, 23, at Trinity Gospel, daring the FBI to fix it. The FBI wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. They sold it. Them mocking him, them daring him. They already admitted to they date rape, drugged everything. And photoshopped that shower scene. I've never talked to anybody. It comes down to this. I've never talked to that Bill Will or whatever Freemason guy. I never talked to Pete. I didn't even know when those agents were mocking me on the phone. Well, we could always use Pete's tape, but we're with her stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know who Pete was. They're mocking me for my stalker and my rapist that have been drugging, beating, raping me. And drugging me up and telling me to say stuff and have photoshopped a shower scene and just left me bruised, dizzy, heart racing, almost passing out and infected. And I didn't know who they were talking about. It's that bad. And they're mocking me. My coworker Dar, she was she had a set of twins, one died. And she was screaming real hard. Her friends took her out, got her to get a babysitter for the surviving twin, took her out. She went to take a drink, out of a drink. She started acting a little happy. She was fine, acting normal. Eventually, a group of people came up, talked to him fine. She left with them. They didn't think anything of it. She's talking and acting fine. She found herself in a puddle of pee. Got home, she's throwing up, dizzy, really messed up the next day. She found out 2 months later she was pregnant. She's arguing with the doctor, how can I be pregnant? I've not had sex with anyone. She said, it's not that I don't love my son, but I don't know what happened to me. She said, I don't even remember talking to anyone, let alone leaving with them. And I don't know what they did to me. So that would have been like those agents saying, well, when they drugged you up and they took you, they told you to say this. They did what? Well, they were raping you. They photoshopped you on the scene. They did what? And mock her and laugh at her. And she has no idea what they're talking about. How these bastards violated her. And that's how it is with me. I had no idea. And they're laughing at me. Like that backfired on them. These people selling the videos of those agents mocking me for being human trafficked on a reported line. And I didn't know what they were talking about. And they're giggling at me. Stop. She doesn't know. Like they said, the FBI made fun of her for being human trafficked. Nobody's saying a word to her. It goes back to even the first or second month of the case of that old man showing up lying. He had sodium pentothal reports, and I woke up with bruises on me and throwing up and made up a lie of wrong nightgown and bout lie. And they only made fun of the back of my knees, and I didn't even own that nightgown back then, and Dave verified it. They only made fun of the back of my knees, and I was dressed modestly. And they were lying to people that had sodium pentothal reports. Sodium pentothal is a lethal outlaw drug you lie under. You'll say yes to anything if you survive. It's been outlawed for years. That's where when I went to Abigail Watkins, Portage County prosecutor, I looked at her and said, that FBI don't use sodium pentothal. I know. Nobody does. I know. Nobody drugs anybody. I know. Then the representative for the case showed up for Karen around the house and talked to the lady officers. I told a Stark County sheriff they were claiming they have sodium pentothal reports. He said, that's weird. Why would they say that? I said, I don't know, and I had marks and I had bruises. He's like, okay. I said, I never talked to anyone. Okay? I told Officer Reinhardt Louisville about it. He's like, don't you worry about a little thing. It's illegal to be in somebody's home no matter what, but protective light cases with statements. Even the FBI would go to jail until that agent agreed to protect you. They couldn't even be in your home. They would go to jail. It's illegal to even look or listen. And they can't even. So what were they doing? Looking at drug cartel tapes that they had framed their victim. And then later got mocked for. I went to the Portage County Sheriff's. And I was talking to a male sheriff. And I told him about it. And lady sheriff's behind the door. None of this is funny. His mouth dropped open. He said, Miss Hall, what these people were saying they did is illegal. It was none of our officers in your home, nor did we have any knowledge of anybody being in your home outside a protective light case with statements or anybody else's. And I said, he said, yeah, that is how he put it. He said, we weren't in your home or anybody else's home outside a protective light case. And I said, with statements, yes. I said, it's the Fourth Amendment, yes. I said, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements, yes. So I turned this into the Internal Affairs Department. They have those agents on a recorded line. Badgering, obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, tampering with witnesses. They have them acknowledging that I'm being drugged and framed, that they have been in contact with my kidnapper and my rapist, and were mocking me for being human trafficked and scammed. And they didn't arrest him. And they made me plead for my life, listed me informant with money and immunity, and then threatened me again. All on a recorded line. Today, outside my clients in North Canton, they were talking about that bill from the Freemasons again. Okay, where he admitted he was paying people to stalk me as part of the human traffickers. Back in 18, he's still doing it. Okay, people need to stop taking his dirty blood money. Where do human traffickers get their money? They sell women and children for sex slaves and to be murdered. Over 1,072 children were taken between January and May of 23 alone, without the women. Just the children. They were sold for sex slaves and to be murdered to perverts. These people are taking blood money from serial killers to harass me. For other people to, you know why they're having them harass me? They show up to harass me, and they pick them off later. They get invited basically to their own funeral. They get to pick out, they show up, and they don't have to hunt them down. March 1st to 3rd of 23, Walmart 62 by the nail polish. There's a recorded camera. I looked up and it said recording. My phone's tapped on top of it. Lady admit they used my case to human traffic people. People were complaining in Walmart days after that. They better shut it down. They're using it to human traffic people. Get idiot people to show up, and then they can pick off which one they want. That's what Bill from the Freemasons is doing. He's setting these people up to die. And they're taking their little $15, $20 or whatever he's paying them of the sale of other children's blood money. And then he can pick them off to die next. You pull back the facade of who these people have been pretending to be, the FBI agents, Those agents opened the informant program with money immunity and stole it. Found out from the police officers the FBI left me out there. And then they told people not to help me and let it run. And where they had a real case open with statements and told the cops to keep an eye on me. Because they couldn't be in there unless they listed me informant with statements. I had a cop talk today. Because then it'd be entrapment. And it'd get thrown out for that. So until September 27th, 18, nobody could be in my home. They knew that. Because you're going to say the FBI don't know the Constitution that they swear their life over? They don't know what roofies are? They don't know what date rape, drug, amnesia drugs are? Stalking laws, rape laws, human trafficking laws? RICO charges? Embezzlement? They stole $295,000 from my case now. At the very least. Who gave all these people the passwords to a copy of my phone? To listen through, where only police and agents should hear. They had to give a password. Who gave them the password to watch me in my home? Which is highly illegal. They did. Who gave them the password to hear through my speakers in my car because my car's parked? They did. That's where, like a week or two ago on a Thursday, actually I think it was last Thursday, they went to sell it. I worked in a very nice neighborhood. They went to sell it to the wrong guy. He screamed at him. What is this? Some kind of government conspiracy? Selling government technology? Stealing from victims? And then paying people to harass them? I thought, yeah, nailed it. Street went quiet. Like they said, nobody will say a word to her. People were complaining on Friday, those old drug dealers from Ravenna. We're here, we've seen them. Watching them. They're all drug dealers. Everybody knows that. The ones driving by, screaming, harassing, acting like damn fools are drug dealers and their kids. They're human traffickers. They're serial killers. I was up at Fred Martin on this last Wednesday, so what was that? August 30th? Wait a minute. Let me put that back. Okay, today's the 2nd. First Friday, 30th. So the 30th? Something like that. It was Wednesday. September 30th. 29th, 30th, whatever Wednesday was. I've worked 7 days this week in like 72 hours. 72 hours. I'm extremely tired. I'm in there and I get my car looked at. One of the guys from the protected custody case come in. The one representative for Fred Martin said, we got a phone call. She was going to be here. We heard that her ex-husband is part of a serial killing group. And she's just sitting here. He said, was she part of it? He said, no. They even tortured her. I seen her. She had nothing to do with it. And they tortured her. Let's go out. Go over here and talk. Or something like that. Or come on, let's go over here or something like that. Nobody said anything smart to me in there. Her ex-husband, we got a phone call. Her ex-husband is part of a serial killing group. Can't believe she's just sitting here. Oh, I remember exactly what he said. He said, was she part of any? He said, no, they tortured her. He said, I seen them. He said, that's why I keep an eye on them. And then they went over to talk to someone else. The people who harassed me, who are they part of? The serial killing group, the human traffickers, the drug traders, human trafficking people. Where those agents left it open, unattended, just told the cops to keep an eye on me. Nobody was helping me. Do you realize how illegal that is? That's where those officers in that part of Akron that I work in, when I first started up there, told people not to say anything to me. That they all got phone calls. It's wrong to defraud anybody, especially victims. Some idiot women. I went in Acme in between my two jobs. Well, I heard they told her blah 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 blah, and just running their asshole mouths. Okay? Well, and just weren't. Just ignore them. I thought, well, they drugged me and told me to say stupid bitches. How would you like to wake up with bruises and never talk to anybody? And throwing up and sick like that and not know what's wrong with you. And you can take your well and shove it up your rear end. You're that stupid to fall for a drug scam. If people would stop taking their freaking blood money and start turning them in and start acting like they have a brain cell, they're the butt of everybody's jokes. This November 18th, 22, Walmart 62. Eric comes in and confesses, one of the drug dealers. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people turned on her and they fell for it. Well, it's only you. I could take care of it. I know it's that bad. And I could still, they still fell for it. That's where June 7th, 23, the Lighthouse Tabernacle, the cult makes fun of FBI agent John. FBI agent John actually fell for the stun of tapes before? Oh, come on now. That agent actually fell for it? Is that what's going on? FBI agent John fell for the stun of tapes before? Ha ha. June 30th, 23, massacre sparked. Men were talking about it. The guy running is a real socialite. Real life of the party. How he fooled all these people in the stun of tapes before, and they all fell for it and helped him steal everything she had in life. And they basically how he made fools out of all these people. Fools. People were screaming in Hartville and Akron. They sold the login. Went nationwide, by the way, FBI. July 9th, 23. Women dare the FBI to fix it. The FBI wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. I thought SWAT teams would surround them. Hailstones from heaven, Sodom and Gomorrah kind of stuff. These people should have been nailed to the desk by saying they were monitored on their own in my home for RICO charges. Stalking, peeking Tom. When they admitted a drug at me, it's RICO. Racketeering charges, drugs, kidnapping, extortion. When people start looking at them, they're getting paid by serial killers that are slowly picking them off one by one. And that's why they're paying them to show up on a prelude of making fun of a victim. And then he gets to pick out which one he wants next. Like my friend that used to work at the prosecutor's office, it's a $1 billion industry. They just need a new victim, basically. So they send out these bogus invitations or money. You show up and they pick you off later. And when people start looking at them for the monsters they are, maybe they won't find it so funny making fun of the victims. They may be the next one in a body bag. They're their kids. And that whatever happened to teaching your children about internet dangers of these weird men that want to talk to little teenage girls or boys, that if they were they're adults, they don't want to talk to you. If they want to talk to you, there's something wrong with that whole situation. Do people lose? I think they've lost all common sense. If this was happening in a foreign country, we'd be horrified. I was watching a news program with one of my clients today, and they were showing the president saying he wouldn't tolerate any domestic terrorism groups. This is what this is. Domestic terrorism is a group of people to further their own ideology. That means their beliefs. With religious or political backing, with threats or harm to human life against the U.S. constitutional laws. What is this? Domestic terrorism on its finest. Do you realize with them making fun of the FBI, daring them, making fun of all these people? I've talked to sheriffs about amnesia drugs. They're so bad they control you for 4 to 6 hours and you're sleepwalking. Okay? I have talked to other sheriffs about them. He's like, they can drug you up and tell you to say or do anything. To the point they could have drugged up the people and told them to take down the towers, and they killed all those people and didn't know they did it. Not only what happened to Dar, my neighbor Mike went to a bar, and during the second beer, I guess he started talking crazy. Told people he was an astronaut, nice to some people, told other people to F off. Eventually left. And when he came to, he was in his driveway with his shoes changed. He came up to me, I got a problem. And I said, what's that? He's like, I don't know how I got home. I'm like, go sleep it off. He said, I got a worse problem. I got $80 in my pocket. I'm like, check your bank. He gets on his phone. He's like, well, I took 100 out. What was in the box with mustard? And how did I change my shoes? I'm like, oh my God, they were fake. Go sleep it off. He's like, he tried to tell me it was a New York cop. He was still loopy. I'm like, just go sleep it off. I told him later what he said to me. He said I was never a New York cop. He said I went down to, he told me before he had went down to that bar after that. And they told him he was telling everybody he was an astronaut and all the other stuff. My one friend I talked to, he said, he's got a neighbor and woke up, there was a naked man walking around his house. Her house, didn't even know where he was at. Called the police and they came and arrested him. You know, I hope he took those drugs himself, because that'd be terrible if somebody roofied somebody, stripped them naked and put them in somebody's house and they didn't know what they were doing. That'd be evil. Because you're sleepwalking with no memory. They chemically shut down your conscious. Are you going to say the FBI don't know about roofies? When I talked to the police and they're like, those things are so bad. They bragged in the case they could control anybody with those date rape drugs. Last Sunday, when I wrote it on, people were asking me, I wrote it on the Facebook where that old man showed up and was bragging he was using sodium pentothal. You can't get it. You lie under it. I went somewhere else and people were talking. It's not even funny that they said they had those. You can't even get that drug. And then you lie under it. And I put it up on Facebook how you lie under it. You'll admit to Pearl Harbor, Crimes 2, writing ransom notes. You'll just confess to anything. The spy flick movie stuff that's lethal and outlaw that you actually lie under. And that's where the drug addicts have laughed at everybody. They laughed at the FBI. The cults laughed at the FBI and made a laughing stock at them for photoshopping scenes and date rape drug confessions and stalking tapes, and they didn't get arrested and then dared them. It's like the nation's disgrace of our legal system. People have died. People have been taken around me, and I was left in the middle of a drug hotel. Human trafficking people. They pulled the kids. They may find some of the girls and kids they took. I have several drug dealers and human traffickers around me. And my car, my phone, parked in my home, and Dave working with the human traffickers. I'm trying to get them to pull that case. And if they can find any of them alive, it's worth everything. I'm trying to save lives. They actually mention places they were taken around. And they would have it. And then they would have those people dead to rights. My brother-in-law that works at CIA, he created spyware. I know my car is marked and every vehicle I have is marked. Okay? If they have cameras pointed out, they'll actually have their guns. They have them dead to rights like the Amish men with the beards. Like a guy said, don't ever forget. You're an FBI informant. No matter what. My whole life has been bugged for almost 5 years. They left the case running and left me in the hell. I'm gonna report this.